Hey everybody, it's Shamika Tankerson here, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Supernova Sales School. And today we're talking about how to crush your fears. We're talking about 6 hidden fears that keep you stuck, that cripple your confidence, keep you stuck in your business. And a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women, don't even realize these fears are happening. So I wanted to share this because for me, this is something that I struggled with a lot. I mean, think about my story. If you don't know my story, I was a person who had a multiple 6-figure business, and then think about losing all of that. I lost it all to the point where I could barely feed my kids and was in the welfare office. So you think building a 6-figure business in itself is hard? Try rebuilding a business to 6 figures after losing everything. And so when I look back on my clients who get results and the ones who have invested and don't get results. Like I get people who just take my free stuff and they can create 5 figures in sales. I have people who invest in my lower level programs, who can't afford the 5-figure or 10-figure or 10-figure, that's speaking prophetically, the 5-figure investment or the 4-figure investment, and they get results. Some of them have created, 5-figure months, 5-figure days. And then there's still, on the other hand, some people who invest but don't get results. And I remember myself and I remember that journey because I was that person. I was investing in my business. I'm a go-getter. I was doing what I thought was the work. And still, I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, the results that I thought. And I had to take a good look back and see what made the difference for me on this journey. And while there were lots of things, there were some hidden, sneaky things going on that I didn't even recognize were sabotaging my success. And the moment that I started to realize it and became aware and began to put things in place to help me shift how I showed up, who I be in the marketplace, and the decisions that I make and what I choose to do when these thoughts come up, when these feelings come up, that is what changed the game. So this is why, though you may be a person who feels like you're busy building your business, you still can't get results. Though you may be a person who has invested in mentors and coaches and programs, courses, certifications, and you think your branding, your web design, and you think by now the client should be flooding in and you're not seeing results, I promise you, as I go through these 6 hidden fears, what you will recognize is they are likely showing up in your business. And the reason why I say they're hidden is this. We think that what we're going through, the situations, the excuses, the stories that we have are valid reasons for the reason why our business isn't where it should be. Because we believe in ourselves. I know I was confident. I knew I could get results. But in the back of my mind, there was some stuff lingering. And here's why it was lingering. And I'm starting with my story so that you get an idea of what I'm going to share with you today and how powerful it is. Because it was lingering for me because I had people who had asked for refunds. It was lingering for me because I had lost everything in my business. So how was I supposed to show other people how to build their businesses? And that's where my permission slips came in. If you haven't read my book, The Power of Permission, you can grab it on Amazon. Just Google it, go on Amazon and type it in. It's The Power of Permission, How to Set Fire to Your Fears and Sell More. That's my best-selling book on Amazon.com. And I talk about these 3 fears, these 3 permission slips that I wrote myself, and it changed the game for me. So we're going to go through 6 fears. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to be actively engaged. I don't really want you multitasking, but I do want you actively engaged. So what does that mean? What we do in Supernova Sales Schools is when you get an aha moment, I want you to talk back to me. I'm kind of a God girl. I'm a church girl, so I need some amening. Right now, you guys are all muted, so I can't hear your amen, so I need to see them. So in our group, we're active in there. If you're not in the group, it's powerplayerslive.com. You want to keep that tab open for a couple of reasons. One, I'll be asking you to post some things, and I'll be asking you to use the hashtag Supernova Sales School. Supernova Sales School is the hashtag you're going to use, so I can go back, because I go back and read and I respond to them all. So powerplayerslive.com. You can communicate with me in the chat if something's going on, like you can't hear me. You can just post in the chat box inside of Zoom. But powerplayerslive.com. The other thing is, at the end of this or towards the end of this call, I'm going to give you a free resource. That resource is only going to be available to you until 10 minutes after we officially end this session. Once we end this session, it's going bye-bye, because I'm going to create an entire course with a full-fledged workbook on what we're talking about today so that you can be able to use it. So that's going to go. That's my gift to you for being here, and I have something else I want to share with you towards the end that I want to gift you. So grab a pen and paper if you don't have one. Know this about me: I talk fast, I get excited. So I will repeat things, but you got to be ready to go with me, because I've got a lot of content to carry and I'm just going to be moving. So put your running shoes on, because we're going to run through this stuff. So pen and a notepad, write these things down. So I want to start with something very, very powerful, and I have some notes. So I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Actually, before I start with this powerful thing, I want to start with this. I want to make sure you're in the right place, because I'm not about wasting people's time. That's the reality. Like, I coach courage people. I'm a go-getter. Nothing stops me. I'm moving, right? I'm not about wasting your time or my time. I don't want you to be here if you're not going to get anything out of it. And so here's the deal. We're going to cover this today, and then I want to make sure you're in the right place. So we're going to cover the 2 most powerful words that you need to keep on your radar. That's the first place we're going to start. The 6 main fears that squash your dreams, your confidence, and your business success. And I'm going to give you 1 quick and easy strategy to reframe your fears on the spot, and then give you a next step to transforming your fears so that you can stop playing small, stop wasting your time doing things that suck the life out of you, and instead have an unstoppable confidence and start playing a much bigger game in your business. That's what's going to help you slay in 2017. Here's the thing. This call is not for everybody. So I want to make sure first and foremost, if you're not a business owner, you could get something out of this, because these fears show up in all kinds of different ways. But the references that I'm going to be using are for entrepreneurs and business owners. So my clients are whip smart. Like, they're smart like nobody's business. They're high achievers. Some of them are overachievers like me. And believe it or not, it's the power of their minds, though they're very confident and do have this belief in themselves, that often works against them. And I know that from experience, because that was my story too. So this is for you if you found yourself like I was, investing a small fortune in branding courses, mindset programs, marketing coaches, sales trainings. You've done all the things that you thought you were supposed to do, and yet you're still not making money, the money that you want to make in your business, and you're banging your head up against $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and you want to do more. And the biggest problem for you is that no matter what you do or how hard you work, you're not making the money that you want consistently. This is for you if you're exhausted from living on Facebook, posting 24/7, blogging, networking, creating freebie after freebie, hosting workshops, doing all the things that the gurus tell you that you're supposed to do, and that your coach tells you to do, that you're supposed to do, and you're still not attracting the clients that you desire consistently. You're still not really booking those sales conversations or discovery sessions, as people like to call them. And you're attracting people, but they're not really necessarily the kind of people you want to be working with. What I teach positioning. And we'll talk about that, not in this training, but a huge part of positioning is your mindset. And we are going to dive deeply into that as we're talking about your fears today. This is also for you, lastly, if you feel like your head is going to flip upside down, like you're going to turn into poltergeist and explode if you see one more of your peers making more and more money than you are. You see them posting that they're having 20K months, 50K months, and you're like, I know I have the expertise. Why is it not happening for me? I'm doing the work. I should be further ahead. All of those thoughts are going through your mind, and secretly, you're starting to lose your fire. Work feels heavy, and it feels like a chore, and it doesn't feel good. You don't feel like you're in service and on purpose, and you're not having fun. This call is for you if you are craving unprecedented success like you've never had it before, not the same old thing. And it's for you if you plan on slaying your goals in 2017 and make this a year that is almost indescribable, unrecognizable in your business. If that's you, hang on, we're going to go through these 6 fears. Now, on the other hand, this call is not for you if you're more committed to your excuses than your opportunities to win. if you're stuck in your story, if you've already decided that you're just going to keep spinning your wheels, I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing for another year. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. If you're not willing to hear the truth and accept responsibility and realize your ambitions, if you're ready to own your power, if you're not ready to own your power and your worth in 2017, this call is not for you. So that's who the call's for. And I want you to be aware of a couple of things. See what I have going on in chat here. Hey, Marsha. Hey, Rebecca. All right, so I want you to be aware of a couple of things. What happens when you hear something like this, because listen, I've been under the tutelage of my mentor for 5 years. It's been almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March. And I can tell you, I've heard the same thing, him teach the same things over and over again. And really, most of it didn't click for me until a couple of years ago. Repetition is the mother of all learning. So be conscious of the sneaky fears that come up, or the sneaky voice in your head that comes up and goes, I already know this. Oh, this is what I teach to my clients. And I used to do that. And you can sit there and go, okay, and you can zone out, or you can clock off. Here's what I know. If you're here and you took the time to put this on your schedule, you need to be here. This is a divine appointment and something is for you. So that is the point. When that voice comes up, instead of zoning out and waiting till something you think is going to be good for you comes up, it's actually that point where you need to sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, put your pen in your hand and go, what do I need to be listening closely for? Because that is probably where your block is, not where you think it is. So be aware if you start to get the, oh, I've already heard this before. Oh, I teach my clients that. I say that to my clients all the time. The question I always ask myself is this. Are you doing it? How is it showing up in your business? How is it showing up in your life? Is it working? Is it effective? And then I listen closely. So I want you to be very aware when that voice starts to come up. All right, so we're going to jump into the 6 fears. Let me make sure there's nothing. The first place that I want you to start as we go through this is I want you to think about this, and I want to tell you this. You are enough. Let me make sure I'm looking at you. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. And the moment that you realize it, I mean, like really realize it with every fiber of your being, in every ounce of your DNA, that is when the magic begins. I literally had to actually tell myself that this week. I put up all these notes and did all these slides because I've never taught this in this way before. I'm letting you in on the inside of some things that have been going on in my life as I've been on this journey. And while I teach it to my clients in some ways with some strategies and tips, I've never taught it in this way. And so some insecurity started to sneak in. And I found myself with pages and pages of notes of what I wanted to say. And that's why I chucked the slides, because I just want to have an intimate conversation with you. And so the first place that I want you to start, I want you to not look around, and I want you to hear me with every ounce of who you are. You are enough. And in that moment, clink, like when it anchors in, that's when the magic begins. You're enough. That's the first place I wanted to start. You're not struggling in your business because you don't have the right website. You're not struggling in your business because you don't have the right business card or logo or branding or the right sales funnel or the right Facebook ad or the step-by-step content that you need. That is not why you're stuck, love. One of the main reasons, and the truth is that you're struggling because you have not yet learned how to be with your fear. If you allow it, the thing that you're scared of the most is where your pot of gold is. If you allow it, fear can be your greatest teacher. And so I want to show with you, you hear people say, get comfortable in the uncomfortable. Well, what the heck does that mean, right? When you know that fear comes up, you realize that you're onto something. That's why I had to chuck my notes today. That's why I had to chuck my slides. Because I'm like, there's some fear there. There's some feeling not enoughness. That means these people need what you have, Shamika. So give it to them in its full glory. So that's what we're going through today. So I do have, I'm going to go through the bulleted points. So I'm going to give you fear number one, and we're just going to jump in right away. And then at the end, again, I'm going to open up the lines. I want you to know this too. Like, successful entrepreneurs, they're not fearless. I've been in rooms with hundreds of multi-million-dollar business owners. They are not fearless, and they are not perfect. They're not fearless. Here's what I want you to think about. I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen somebody who's building a business that's probably larger than yours. Let's just deal with revenue. They're at 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or at 7 figures or multiple 7 figures. They might even be somebody you feel like you know more than, you're better at what you do. They're in your same line of work. Their website's whack, right? You might kind of judge them a little bit and sense that they're far less capable than you are, but their business is killing it. And it's because there's decisions that you make when the stuff that we're going to talk about today come up that you're not making love in your business. They're killing it, and they do exactly what you do. Successful entrepreneurs are not fearless. What successful entrepreneurs have learned is what they learn how to do is how to become uncomfortable with feelings like fear and take action anyway. And so what I'm going to give you today, this is like Terminator type weapons for you to be able to feel fear. And it's not this like colloquial, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's decision, right? It's by design, not default. Because right now, let me find you guys again. Because right now, you operate and react to fear by default. And there's nothing you can do about that because your brain is hardwired that way. The coolest thing is this, and most people don't recognize this. Think about it. Once you burn yourself on fire one time, what happens? You're not going by fire again. And so the same happens when you're building your business. Remember, I talked about my having clients ask for refunds, people quitting my programs and telling me I was too harsh. All the times in your life when people told you to tone it down, stop talking too much. All of that creates neural pathways in your brain that become part of your brain permanently. And after it happens so many times, it's permanent and your brain goes, oh, this is how we behave. It's why you can get on a bike and just ride it. Once you've done it so many times. It's why you just get up in the morning and walk. It's why you just breathe and take in air. So what happens is when you've tried again and failed and tried again and failed and tried again and failed, your body goes, oh, that doesn't feel good. Let's not do that. And so now your decision-making capability has been thwarted. It has been halted. You are now sabotaging yourself because when it's time to take the risk or when the fear comes up, by default, you run the other way. You're not making a decision to really look at how this could be affecting you. I actually have a program that we're going to be launching. I haven't told anybody about this. I'm working with a neurologist. She's a brain doctor. And we're literally going to be taking people, we're going to be looking at their brain, we're going to map their brains out when they're doing sales, when they're talking about their business, when they make their offers, when they raise their rates and they say how much it costs. And we're going to find the pathways in their brains that fire off and that are broken that cause them to be fearful and not really confident in those areas. And we're going to go in there and we're going to fix it. And so this is the deal. You're hardwired to behave the way that you're behaving right now, and you don't even recognize it. So I want to give you tools today to show you how to become aware and then make a decision to behave. And I'm not even going to say to behave differently because you might still make the same choice, but it's not by default. It's with intention. Is that okay? All right. So fear number one, are you guys ready for it? Actually, no, not fear number one. I need to give you this powerful tool. So the powerful 2 words, the most powerful 2 words that you must get a handle on and that you must have in your arsenal. This is super important. What if? What if? Write that down. What if? I'm going to show you how to use what if for your good instead of for your demise. Because right now, I promise you, what if is working against you? I'm going to show you how to make it work for you. So when you think about any decisions that you're thinking about making in your business, whether it's recording a video, launching your own program, a new idea that you want to put out there, being more visible or active on social media, raising your prices, doing a live event, you can get caught up in what if all day. What if I say the wrong thing? What if people don't like me? What if nobody likes the post? What if nobody responds to my offer? What if they say no? What if can get you caught up all day. These are insanely powerful words. Words in themselves are insanely powerful because your life follows your words. I have a powerful belief, where are you guys at, that your voice, your words, what you speak, that's why I've been posting Speak Life into Your Business. Your voice is the most powerful income creation tool on the planet. It just is. What you say, manifest. And I'm not just going to say it just is. Let me teach you something. And I learned this many, many years ago. And I thought, oh my gosh, what the heck? So everything around us, anything you can touch, see, even the things you can't see and touch, but all matter is made up of atoms. And so scientists did a study. And what they discovered is that at the very, very nucleus of an atom, when you break it down, everything that life, we are living, breathing atoms. We exchange energy with each other and the things around us every day. When you break us down to the smallest particle that you can, you take an atom, which all matter is made up of, and you break it down to the lowest common denominator, what they found was a sound wave. What they found was a sound wave. So your thoughts become your words. So what you're thinking will manifest in your life. What you're thinking will manifest in your life. So I'm going to show you how to shift the what ifs in your life. All right, so fear number one. Let's go. Okay, fear number one is fear of failure. It's fear of failure. Anybody ever done something and was like, that was an epic fail? You know, I put out that Facebook post and nobody said anything. You know, I launched a course or started selling a new course and only 2 people bought it. Or worse yet, you put the course out there and crickets, right? It doesn't feel good. And so this inner dialogue starts, and maybe you begin to ask yourself questions like these. Here are some of the what ifs. When the next time it's time for you to do it, you start asking, what if I fall flat on my face? What if I lose all my money? What if I invest all this money into my live event, into a virtual assistant to help me, my launch, a marketing plan, or whatever, a coach, and I lose the money? What if I end up not selling anything? So this is the dialogue that starts happening when you're facing the fear of failure. And this is one that was really crazy for me, especially because when I lost everything, it really had to do with money. You know, there were people who were depending on me for their livelihood who I couldn't pay anymore. Heck, I couldn't pay myself. I could barely feed my kids. And anchored in me was I never wanted to have that again. And so when it was time to spend money, I would hold on to it for dear life and have this fear wash over me of, oh my gosh, what if I don't make it back? And you can change your relationship with this fear. You can do that. And here's what power players do. What successful people do is they don't skip the failing part altogether. You can't do that. You can't skip the line of failing. Power players see failure as opportunity every time, and that's how you want to shift it. See failure as opportunity. I know to expect failure. I know that I'm going to put things out there that might bomb. I know that. You know, or it just might get a mediocre response. What I do though is I see the opportunity to get really, really important information about my message, about my content, about my delivery method, my ideal clients. So instead of going, oh my gosh, I just need to stop this altogether, how can I tweak it? You know, if you're putting out, let's say, Facebook posts or social media posts, go back and look, where are the posts where you got crickets and where are the posts where people are really responding? And are they the same? So are the posts where people have crickets, do you end up getting an inbox message and end up getting a client? Then keep posting like that. Are the posts where people are liking the most, they're liking it and they're excited, but do you not get clients? Then don't do any more of that, or do that and expect a different result, or shift it altogether. So see the failure as an opportunity to grow, to expand as the leader of your business. So here's the shift. Look at your failures and mistakes as just another step in your research and development in building your business. Not a slap in the face like, oh my gosh, I suck. Nobody likes me. Nobody's going to buy. I need to do something totally different. And you just switch up without looking at using it as research and development. Switch up in proportion to what you're doing. If you've been paying close attention to my personal page, not my business page, you've seen me do this week. I posted some stuff last week and I was like, this isn't working. And then I started posting these little snippets. Like I wanted to say it all in one post. Little snippets. Do you know that in the last week, I've gotten a client just from those posts? Someone's like, hey, can we jump on the call together? Little snippets, but it's because I didn't go, oh my gosh, I need to be quiet. No one likes the topic that I'm talking about. I was looking at how people were responding and I used that to my benefit. It's research and development, people, R&D. That's what it is. Okay, so here are, I want you to think about it this way. Here's what one of my coaches says. I wrote this down. My coach says, never forget the losses. No, he says, forget the losses, never lose the lessons. So the feeling of losing, get over that, but look at the lessons. So forget the losses, never lose the lessons. You know, you can't just do one sales conversation and get a no, hit a downward spiral, and then go hiding and crawling under a rock. You can't even do 4 or 5, right? You can't increase your rates one time, and because one person says no, you're like, oh, people don't have money. Okay, before I give you the what ifs to shift for this, I'm going to do fear number 2, because fear 1 and 2 are like a double-sided coin. They kind of go together. So you have fear of failure, which is fear number 1, and then you have fear of success. What the heck does that mean? Like, why the heck would I be afraid to succeed? I'm not afraid to succeed. That's what I'm going after. Remember, these are hidden fears, and they're all fears that I've dealt with, and that's why I'm sharing them. There was a time where I was super afraid to get successful, especially after I lost everything, because I thought all the people who were part of my fall down, my demise, when I didn't do things as great, would come back and tell the world that I sucked as a business coach and as a person. And so I would play small, because if I started getting my name out there, then they might go, oh, she's back in business. You owe me money, all kinds of stuff. I had all these secret fears. Now, it wasn't things I was thinking about in the front of my mind, but when I sat back and really started doing work on my mindset and why I was hitting my head up against the wall, or why I would have a 20K month and then not make money for 8 months, get one client and then go spiraling, because those fears would set in. My body would go, okay, shut it down. That's too much success. People are going to notice you. And then somebody from your past is going to come back and say, do you know what she did? Do you know what happened? That's what fear of success can look like. It might not look like that for you, but I promise you, the scars of your past, they make you sabotage yourself. The scars of your past, I felt like for a while, and some of you may have this, you might have PTSD when it comes to building your business, when it comes to success and accomplishing your goals. So be aware. All right, so if you dig deeper, you'll realize that success calls us into much, much bigger roles. It causes us to be bigger and more visible, right? It requires us to show up in our full power, right? It requires you to say, hey, you know what? I'm the stuff and I can get results. It requires you to be that person, and sometimes we're not ready for that. It requires you to release your inner power player, to unleash your Sasha Fierce. And that's a journey, and it's not just something that you wake up to one morning and do. It's a journey of becoming. That's why I tell you guys that making more money in your business, like smashing it and killing it, it's about who you be. It's about who you become more than what you do. And that's hard for a lot of women. It requires you to sometimes be still and not be busy. And we'll talk about that in some of the other fears too. If you're like me, I was addicted to the adrenaline. I'm a high achiever. I'm a go-getter. I was addicted to the hunt, the chase, the grind. And so I just wanted to be busy and be busy and be busy. Society has taught women to define their worth but by how happy they make other people. So when you think of your biggest success, your biggest dream, your biggest vision, your purpose, your divine assignment, the call in your life coming true, it's vast, it's big. I know that because you're here. I only attract visionaries. When you think about that and think about how stretched you are now just with what you're doing, and how exhausted you may be now just with what you're doing, and how you still don't always feel like you have it all together now with what you're doing, and what it takes for you to deliver now, the people you have surrounding you at your current level of success now, you might find yourself asking questions like this. Oh my gosh, who does she think she is? That was looming for me. You know, I thought if I told people, hey, look, I could do this, I could help you do that. That's not a problem. If I showed up with that energy, people would go, who does she think she is? I know her. I remember when. Or you might find yourself asking questions like, what if my friends no longer like me because of my success? What if I get famous? What if I make a lot of money and people don't like me anymore? What if my face becomes recognizable when I'm out and about and people are like buying my products and service, whatever it is? Or even scarier, what if in order to become successful, I have to become someone else entirely? What if the people that knew me when, or experience my setbacks or mistakes, or clients who canceled or asked for refunds, see me and start posting about how horrible I am? Again, that's one I struggle with big time. And all of these questions are reflective of having fear of success. So here's some new what ifs for the fear of failure and the fear of success. The reason why I'm giving you the reframe and the new ones is because I want you to learn how to do this for yourself. Start asking yourself, what if in a different way? So what if you were to ask yourself these questions instead? And this is for fear number 1, which is fear of failure, and fear number 2, which is fear of success. And it looks like I have some chat going on, so let me check. Oh, that's just my amen corner. All right, cool. Keep it coming. All right, so what if you were to ask these questions instead? What if I fail and it teaches me exactly the things I need to fly? Remember, research and development, the missing pieces to add to create the huge success. What if I fail and everyone loves me? And they love me anyway because they see me as human. Think about this. I love when people's humanity shows up. I don't want to see somebody that has it all together. And then yet and still, sometimes in our minds, we think that people want us to have it all together. No, they want to see that someone just like them, who has flaws just like them, can still have success. This is why the people with the whacked out websites and the quirky personalities and all that stuff are killing it in their business, because they're just doing them. We're too busy putting on our teacher hat and our persona and, trying to be something else. So what if they love you, even if you fail? Another what if for this. What if I succeed and I can totally be myself in the process? So this is on the what if for success? What if I succeed and I can totally be myself in the process? I don't have to become anybody else. I can be who I am, right? I can wear a t-shirt instead of wearing a business suit. I used to wear black business suits and blue business suits and pearls. Guys, that was me. Because that's when I was in financial services, that's who I thought people wanted and needed me to be in order for me to be successful. Like they wouldn't trust me unless I did that. The most ridiculous thing ever. What if you could just be yourself? You know, I have some friends right now and some clients that are killing it in their businesses, and there's stuff that they do. I'm like, I would never do that. But people love it. You know, their colloquialisms, the way that they talk, it's just crazy. But people want to see you as who you are. You don't have to be the master guru, the teacher that you believe, this image you've put up for yourself. All right. Another what if for this one is, what if I succeed and it actually attracts more of what I want? More positive people, more positive experiences into my life instead of negative stuff. You know, we're often so afraid of what we will lose if we gain success. You know, one of the things I love is cozy, intimate interactions with a small group of people. And even in some of my events, I purposely keep them small, and I'm starting to rethink that. Because I'm thinking, what if I lose my power when I have a room of 100 people or a room of 300 people? Because I know it's powerful when it's 12, 15, 20, 25 max. That's fear of success. Like, I don't want to get too big because how am I going to hold the container for that? So how can you switch your what ifs? Fear number 3. Fear of rejection. What if I put myself out there and people flat out reject me? And really, guys, this is more common than you think. And when I say reject, the image you probably have in your head is people like, nah, no, no. Like, you don't want to post, you don't want to email somebody you know you can help, you don't want to pick up the phone and the call because you're so afraid they're going to be turned off by you. Like, they're going to be like, no, step away, spray you with Lysol. That's what you think. That's how deep this fear of rejection is. It's not just like, you know, you're lovable, you know, people like you, but it's that, like, once that happens, how do you act with that person, right? And that is all in your freaking head. So let's talk about this fear. You know, and here's the deal. Like, I've said stuff like that myself. Like, what if they laugh at me? What if I start posting all this stuff and somebody comments like, what do you know about that? You know, all of this stuff. What if they think my coaching is too expensive? There's so much. What if they think I'm stupid or unqualified? I need another certification. So here's the deal. Here's how you want to shift this around. Where is it? I want to tell you this. Okay, so I want you to know this. Like, this fear, nothing I'm telling you guys is about a fear that I'm just making up or something I read in a book. This is what I've gone through. So I'm telling you that I've had these fears. So literally, I've recently just had these fears with posting my live streams, posting my Facebook posts. It's how I choose. You have a choice. And so I want to show you that choice for this fear in just a moment, how I choose to use how that fear comes up. I had this fear when I did my book. Those of you who participated with me, I did a book, put it on Amazon. Literally, 2 things happened. One, I didn't like my cover. And so the moment I saw the cover and the people who designed it wouldn't change it, I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm just going to give this to my clients when they come work with me, and I'm not going to tell anybody that I did this book. And I realized it was a fear. It was a fear of rejection. It was a fear of not looking good enough, right? It was a fear of not being seen as an authority or an expert because of the cover of this book. And so I said, you know what, Shamika, let's do something different. What if you put this book out there and it's a powerful resource for someone? What if you put this book out there and it actually does hit bestseller? Right? Then when it was time to do the bestseller campaign, I had a thought to just be really quiet and not tell anyone that I was running a bestseller campaign because I thought, oh, people are going to think I'm being pushy. What if they just don't do, what if I say, hey, help me be a bestseller, and people ignore me? And I'm actually getting a little emotional thinking about it right now, because what happened was is I put it out there, and people that I didn't even think were paying attention supported it. And in the course of 2 to 3 hours, I wasn't supposed to cry. 2 to 3 hours. You guys that know me know I'm a crybaby. Okay, so in the course of 2 to 3 hours, my book became a bestseller. My inbox was flooded with messages that week, and still constantly, of people who have read the book and it's shifted and changed some things for them. It's a small book. That was the other fear that I had. It's just this little tiny book, and I'm saying I wrote a book. It's like, a few pages long, and it's short, and I need to do something bigger. And getting over that fear and putting it out there showed me something. One, you never know who's watching, and you never know who you're going to impact. But you've got to get through that and just do it anyway. So my book's a bestseller. I'm still getting messages from people whose lives it's changing. It's changing mine. I've gotten a client from that book. All things that wouldn't have happened if I had decided to be quiet as a mouse and let the fear of rejection hold me hostage. Okay? So let's talk about the fear of rejection and what to do when you have the what if they say no. Okay? When you're dealing with what if they say no, or the fear of rejection, this is why you keep investing in strategy, you keep investing in courses and programs, and the results don't come, right? I want you to really pay attention to me, because this is what happened. This even happens to the best of the best. That's why I wanted to share with you. That just happened to me this year, right? When did we launch the book? November. So again, I'm constantly, just like everyone else, no matter what level they're at, bumping their head up against their own fears. Here's the beautiful thing, and something that I want you to keep in the forefront of your mind when you're facing this fear. You don't really have much to say about what other people think. How they're going to respond to you is none of your business. Your responsibility and the call on your life is to put it out there. Bless it and let it go. Let the chips fall where they may. That's your responsibility. Keep this in the forefront of your mind. This is what I had to do when it came down to the book, and so many other things that I've done. Bless it and let it go. Do your part. And then let them own up to their own yes. Don't try to make that judgment or that decision for you. You're on assignment. That's pretty much it. Those with a divine appointment will answer. Those who are not will be repelled, and that's a good thing. Those who say no are not part of your calling. They're not your assignment. But if you don't put it out there, they cannot answer the call. The ones to whom you are the answer to their prayer, they can't answer the call if you don't put it out there. While you're still going, okay, this isn't good enough to put it out there, or I need to do this, or more of this, or more of that, or it doesn't look good enough, so I'm not going to put it out there. They're still stuck. The clients that I've gotten, the people who have sent me the messages about what's happened in their business and in their life as a result of that little powerful book, wouldn't have gotten that message at all, right? Because nobody can give that message like I can give it. It's my assignment. It's my calling. They can read a book like it, but not just like it. And the same is for you. Know this. If you make an offer and a client tells you no to that offer, it's an amazing opportunity to ask for feedback. So when someone tells you no, this is what power players do. Like, you have a choice. In every situation, you have a choice. So power players learn how to hear the word no and receive it very differently, because hearing no is inevitable. That's going to happen. Everybody's not going to say yes. But here's Hearing no doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything. And so your inner critic will chime in. I like to call her my mini me. She'll tell you that it does, like that you suck. But it's an amazing opportunity when you hear the word no, especially when you make an offer, let's say on a sales conversation, to ask for feedback about that offer and about that topic, about the price point. And then you can make adjustments based on that, especially when you know it's a good fit for the person. So no doesn't mean that you suck, love. It's just data. And with that data, you can tweak, you can retry, you can repitch, you can reoffer, you can redesign, but most people won't do that. They crawl away, head down, shoulders hunched forward, thinking, I suck, this suck. And more often than not, they crawl under a rock and stop altogether. I know because I did it. I got feedback from a client during a program, and for almost an entire year, I think it was 7 or 8 months after that, made no money, right? The feedback that I had gotten was that I was too harsh. We were doing a group coaching call, and you guys know I'm a straight shooter. I'm like, I call it like I see it. I'm like, you're lying to yourself, so let's just tell the truth. Here's what's really going on. What do you think is really going on? And she like blasted me, called me. Never felt like that before in my life. And that sent me into a tailspin. I'm like, oh my gosh, I suck as a coach. Nobody's ever going to want to work with me again. Now, I wasn't verbally saying that. It was so bad that when my clients finished their program with me, what I did is I didn't call anybody, I didn't say anything, and I didn't offer them anything different. I just disappeared off the face of the earth. Didn't post, didn't do anything. Because I thought, okay, I need to fix something. I don't know what it is. They're not going to want to re-sign with me again if it sucked that bad. But that was only one person. It wasn't the people that were in the program. So what do you do instead, right? It doesn't mean that you suck. Don't take it personal. Don't crawl under a rock. Use it. Ask questions. Ask, like, what would they like to see? Here's the powerful pattern for you that you get for this. You have a choice and you get to choose how you respond in each of these fears. So in the end, there's really nothing to be afraid of. You get a no, now you choose how to respond to that no. You don't take it personally. So the power shift you have to make here is not to shut down. Don't back off. Don't give up. Don't play small. Don't whisper in the marketplace. Don't backpedal on your rates. And oh my gosh, don't do the opposite. Don't be ultra aggressive and go ramble on them, push for the yes. Don't do that either. Here's what power players do. They take no as data and they receive it as an opportunity to grow, change, and move closer to a yes. So here are your new what ifs for this. And I use them all the time. What if you hear no from a client and what it really means is that client needs you? Like, you can expect your clients to say no, but no, and expect that it means no. And by the way, what I really need is this. So no to that doesn't support me, but what I really need is this. So you have to be willing to explore that. I always say this about sales conversations. Every call needs a leader, and that leader is you. So what if no really means the client needs more support or education in order to get to a yes? That's your first what if for this. The next one is, what if no means you're speaking to the wrong type of prospect? You got to get crystal clear who your client avatar is. Get detailed with it. What are their wants, their needs? What are they willing to invest in? And get clear that not everyone is your client. So a no, a lot of times, is a good thing. If it's not that they need more information, it's letting you know, oh, this is the wrong type of person. This isn't my client. What if no is an invitation to a deeper discussion about your offer, about how you can support them? What if that's what no means? If that's what you hear instead? It's an opportunity for you to speak to them more, go deeper, hear about their fears that come up around the investment. I have to do this a lot when people are hiring me to coach them, especially my VIP clients, because I need to help them begin to understand. And that was the same for me. Like, I had to understand, as I was making bigger and bigger investments with myself, I needed to understand that the investment was an investment not just in myself, but also an investment in my clients and an investment in my future. And so that's why I'm willing to make those investments now, but some of your clients may not be there yet. And so this might just be an opportunity to a deeper conversation with them. There's a post or a meme going around about like 15, 20 entrepreneurs or business owners or big name people that you know who were told no, like Walt Disney, Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith. Like, think about these people. As far as you're concerned, they are mega stars, right? What if they were told no and they just crawled away and hid under a rock? We will be missing their gifts. So every time you do that, you are denying the world of your gifts. Come back. No, it's just, what do I need to do better next time? And it might not be what you need to do better, but what needs to shift, right? Or what do they need in order to tell me yes? I heard a story. I don't remember who this rapper or this hip hop artist is, but he was like, I think it was Kanye West, or it might have been Beyonce's baby daddy, Jay-Z, or something like that, holding his mixtape. It's somebody really famous now, like we really know them, but they went every day trying to give him their mixtape, or their CD, whatever. I don't know how long ago this was. I think it was a mixtape. And they kept saying no. No, they were ignoring them, and they just kept doing it. And finally they took it, and he's one of the most prolific writers and producers that we know now. As a result of that, he's been around for a long time, but how it started was his persistence and not taking no for an answer. I also heard a story of a kid who wanted to be on a football team. He didn't get drafted in college, and so he stood outside with a sign every day while they were in training camp, until finally the coach said, if you have that much tenacity, I'm inviting you to come try out. And he went to training camp. Like, you got to be that about your clients and the people that you're assigned to, because without you, like, you're the answer to their prayer. So when a client tells me no, and I know my program is a fit for them, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Because without this, not saying that I'm everything that's going to happen, like they're going to fail if they don't hire me, but the reality of it is they're going to get there faster if they say yes now. So am I willing to be even more uncomfortable and sit with them and explore that deeper conversation? So what if no just means they need you more? They need more information. They need a deeper conversation. All right, let me stop rambling. All right, number 4. You guys ready for 4? The fear of being seen. 4 is the fear of being seen. So many women are terrified of being seen. I know I was. So I talked about this a little bit, about me being seen and people from my past coming up. Here's why, though. A lot of times the fear of being seen isn't that. It's that for some of us. It was for me. But we feel this pressure to look perfect and act perfect and be perfect in order to be worthy. So for a long time this year, I did a lot of like video and live streaming, and I like get dressed, put makeup on, comb my hair, do a lot of stuff, because I needed to get over that, feeling like I needed to be, like I couldn't do a video unless I had everything together. And so I just stopped. Like, if you go back on my page and look at some of those live streams, I'm like coming out the gym, still got dry sweat all over my body. It was me getting over the fear of being seen. That's what I had to do. You don't have to be that drastic. But, you know, when I was a kid, where that came from is, as a kid, we got new clothes for everything. If I was going to Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm or an amusement park, or even to a family trip to the movies, my mom would buy us new clothes. I couldn't wear certain things. She'd be like, we had to look a certain way to represent her. When I say new clothes, I mean all the way down to my underwear, socks, and shoes. And I found myself doing that with my kids when I first became a parent. And then I realized, oh my gosh, this is a problem. It's not a good thing. It wasn't a good thing for me. And so I stopped doing it because I wanted them to know that however they show up is how they show up. Right? And so we're on this looking good plan in our society, and we think we have to wear certain things, and, you know, we have to look good. And it's critical, you know, it's so critical that our hair is not good. It's our weight, our skin, our clothes, our teeth, so many things we look at. Teeth thing, that was a big one for me. People are always like, I love your teeth. I'm like, do you know what I had to go through to like get confident in my own skin, period? And what this does is it causes us to wait. And so the thing that's going in our mind when this fear is coming up, it's I'll wait until whatever. I'm gonna hire a coach. Not yet, I'll wait until, I reach this point, or I make this money, or I do this, or I'll wait until I have a few more clients, or I'll wait until I, finish this course that I'm doing, and then I'll hire somebody to support me. I'm not gonna speak on stages yet. I'm gonna, fill in the blank. I'm not going to host my own live event until, I'm not going to do video yet. I'm waiting until. So this is your fear of being seen coming up. Okay. We do things like wait till we lose the weight, wait till we get professional headshots, the right certification, degree, advanced training. We're looking for that piece of paper that gives us external permission to step up and play bigger. We wait for the perfect time. Okay. We wait for somebody to crown us the authority. How many times have you said things like, it's not the right timing, just going to wait until everything's perfect? Nothing's ever going to be perfect in building a business. I just had something like this come up with a client, lots of things going on, right? Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I know you said these things because I've said these things. And if you're honest with yourself, and I pray that on this call, you're being super honest with yourself. That's one thing I didn't say is like, this is not the time for you to pretend like you have it all together. This is the time for you to get real. Because if you want to slay 2017, reality is the thing that's going to catapult you, especially around this business of being ready. Because all of this stuff can appear as valid reasons. They can appear as valid reasons. Where are you? Okay. I want to tell you this. They all can appear as valid reasons. Are you guys looking at me? But here's what they really are. Hi, Marcia. They're a smokescreen for your fear. They're a smokescreen. It seems real, but they're a smokescreen for what's really going on in your heart space and in your mind. So become aware when you hear the I'll wait until, or I need to wait until, I'm not ready yet, because you're more ready than you ever be. Anytime an opportunity is before you, you're ready. If it were not for you, you wouldn't be able to see it. That's how God designed our beautiful selves. We only see what we need to see in the moment. What's necessary, we only see what we need. If it's before you, you're ready. So here's your what ifs. Dang, I have so many crazy notes here, stories I want to tell. Okay, so your new what ifs. Oh, wait. I need to give you guys the power player shift here. Okay, so the thing that successful people do, and your power player shift for this one is leap before you're ready. Leap before you're ready. When I did my brand photo shoot, I had gained a few pounds from losing my, 60, 70 pounds that I lost over the last 4 years. And I wanted to wait until I got back to a different weight again. And I said, you know what, just do it. Just go for it. And that video has touched so many lives. The photos that I've done for my new brand, all of that stuff. So lead before you're ready and take action. Take the action and be consistent with it. That's how you kick fear in the face. That's how you have to choose the courage to face fear and just take the leap. Again, the opportunity wouldn't be in front of you. So here's your new what ifs. New what ifs. What if my imperfections allow people to really relate to me? My gap in my teeth, anything, the blemishes on your face, the weight that you are. What if somebody looks at you and goes, oh my gosh, because she did it, I can do it. What if people truly notice? What if what people truly notice are my gifts? Not my bum eye or whatever the other thing is that you're thinking of or putting off for. What if they what they notice is none of that stuff, but what you're truly good at. You know, my opposite of waiting was like going full-fledged. That's why I check myself when I get in that fearful mode and doing lots of notes, because I try to overcompensate for that feeling of not being ready by trying to be ultra prepared. That's me. And when that fear comes up, I have to like shut it down. If I should send you guys these notes, you will laugh. There's like 20 pages of notes. I'm like, you know this stuff. Why do you have 20 pages of notes? They're your stories. You know, like, and I don't want to forget this because I want them to know I really know what I'm talking about. You can shift that, right? And here's what happens when I do show up. I feel my creativity return to me. I feel my full power return to me. I show up how I'm supposed to show up instead of how I'm hoping you see me. And then people come to me, and the things that they tell me they love about me and about working with me have nothing to do with my course modules and my strategies and my step-by-step stuff. It's in the how I show up. And so if I'm so stuck on the step-by-step and the notes and the strategy, and I'm holding on to dear life when I'm trying to speak to a group, to my pieces of paper, because I'm afraid I might do something wrong, and I'm trying to leap before I'm ready, then I lose that connection. You lose the thing that makes you you. You use the thing that's the honey to all those bees that are your divine assignment. You lose that. And that's why you put your stuff out there and you get crickets, because you're trying to do it like somebody else. My accountability is powerful. Is that what you say? My authenticity. Thank you. So here's the deal, and here, I think lots of people just don't like me. That's true. Yeah. And this is the thing that I work through day in and day out. So I'm telling you this not because I want you guys to go, no, you're wonderful. I'm telling you this because I want you to know you're not alone. Okay? The reason why that's such a huge thing for me is because growing up, people would tell me things like, you look like you're mad, or you're this, or you're too that, or how come you don't smile all the time? And that still happens. There are tons of people who come up to me like after knowing me for a year, or they might end up with me in this really fun setting where I'm just being myself. And if you know me, you know I'm a goofball. Like, I'm not serious at all most of the time. I'm super sarcastic. And they'll go, you're so much fun. I was intimidated by you. They won't even come up and talk to me. And so that anchors in me, like, people don't like me. And so I try to overcompensate. And sometimes I'll like be this, whatever I'm trying to be. I don't even know. And some of my friends will look at me and go, you don't have to do that with me. And I go, thank you. And sit back. That thing that you're trying to avoid by overcompensating with your notes and whatever you're trying to do, that's the thing that people need and want most from you. Okay? So here's your new what ifs. Ready? Oh, I was already in that. So what if what people truly notice is your gifts? And then the last one is, what if I don't always have to be right or in the know to still be an expert? Drink some water. I'm going to say that one again. What if I don't always have to be in the know or be right to be an expert? What if I don't have to have a clearly thought out and beautifully articulated way to say whatever you're trying to say? What if that's not the case? That's your new what if. I'm not ready yet. I got to have all my ducks in a row. What if it doesn't have to be perfect? What if you can just say what comes into your heart and your spirit and people get it? What if? I'm practicing what I preach right now. I want to read all 20 pages. Because I got to make sure you get it right? All right. And do a PowerPoint. So I've been in this field of like speaking and sales and stuff for a lot of years, like more than half my life. There's still things I don't know. Yeah, there's still stuff I don't know. There's things I don't always get right, but I will not allow it to keep me from reaching you. No longer. I will no longer allow it, because I did for a long time, to keep me from reaching you. And my prayer, my wish is for you the same thing. Leap before you're ready. All right, we're on number, what are we on, 4 or 5? Are we on 4? We're on 5. Can you guys check for me? Maybe I'm numbered wrong. We're on 5. Okay. Yeah, I'm numbered wrong. Okay, so we're on 5, and that is fear. I should call it death by comparisonitis. So it's fear of being lesser by comparison. Fear of being lesser by comparison. I cannot tell you the immense amount of times that I went to go do something in my industry. Actually, for a long time, I would never focus on sales, because the first coach I ever hired was a sales coach, and I was so intimidated by what she was doing. And we have the same circle of friends, and some of you guys may know her. Her name is Ursula Minches. She's like really widely known now, so it trips me out. But I wouldn't talk about sales because I felt like everybody in our circle would think I was just doing it because she was doing it. Or how many times does it seem like the moment you get an idea, everybody around you has the same idea, and you're like, well, dang, they charge this much. How can I charge that much? Or they're doing this, or how come she's making this much money? I know more stuff than she knows. And we're just comparing. And for me, comparison got to the point where I was actually mimicking other people at some point in time. None of that stuff worked. You probably never seen any of it, okay? Because it wasn't successful. You know, copying how they talk and their programs and all of that stuff, and trying to get their step-by-step language. That's why when my clients are like, okay, what do you think I should say? Yes, I help you write copy. Yes, I help you, but I'm looking at how you show up, not how I show up. It's not just about how I would sell it to your clients, because the way you sell and the way that I sell, it's different. There's a structure and a flow, but in that structure and that flow, it's like a river. Like the river has banks, and the water just does what it does. And it's powerful. That's how you are. So comparing yourself to other people can kill you. So this is how it shows up. And this happens with a lot of my clients when they first start their businesses or really start to be seen. They start comparing themselves to industry leaders. And here's a note you want to write down and maybe post somewhere. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. You know, I wish I had this like her. I wish my business was like her. I wish I was making this much money like her. I wish my clients would pay me $10,000, $5,000, $20,000. How has she only been in business 2 years and already has a 7-figure business? How has she only been in business 12 months and she's already hitting 20K months, and you are left feeling like a total loser? Comparison is a thief of joy. It makes you feel like you're less than. You know, you start thinking things like, what does she have that I don't have? You know, what if I can look like her, sound like her? I told you, I tried to mimic other people, it didn't work. That's why when you try to mimic other people, your results fall flat. So what if this fear, or here are the what ifs for this fear, they sound something like this. You ready? What if I can't ever make as much money as her? That's what you say. What if I don't have what she has, or I don't have what it takes? What if I just can't ever be as pretty, smart, successful, or well-spoken as her? And so here's the shift and the new what ifs. The crazy thing is this, I was just thinking about this. As women, we're taught to measure our worth against other women. It's the crazy thing. Like, you want to be a mom like so-and-so. I've been a stay-at-home, I work at home mom. I've always been built for a long time, since my kids were little, when it wasn't popular. It's popular now. It wasn't popular. And I'd be with all my little homeschooling friends, which one of them is on the call right now, homeschooling her children until they turned 18. And here I was, my kids were going off to school, and I was working. working out of the house and working in the home. Comparisonitis can kill you because you think, what can I do differently? What can I do better to be more like them? You don't have to be. We're taught to measure our success against someone else. What if you just measured your success against yourself? Here's your new what ifs. There we go, rambling again. New what ifs, ready? What if the truth of my worth, actually, let me say this differently. That's what I get for trying to read my slides. What if the truth is your worth is your birthright? Your success is your birthright. It's yours and yours alone, and nobody can take it from you. What if exactly what you desire, because again, you don't see a thing or desire a thing unless it's possible. What if that's your birthright? It's yours for the claiming. You just have to claim it. I always tell people, whatever you can envision with your mind's eye, you can have it. What if that's the truth? What if you don't have to compare yourself to somebody else, because what you see that you desire is exactly yours, and it's exactly what you can have. And what would be possible for you if you started living from that truth? What if you already have what it takes to fulfill your dreams? What if you don't have to look like her, walk like her, talk like her, live stream as much as she does? What if you don't have to do that? That was a lesson for myself just recently. I don't know if you guys remember me telling you I was going to live stream every day. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. So I stopped. Not because of fear or not because of wanting to be seen. It was out of alignment. I was doing it because I felt the pressure of everybody else live streaming every day. I felt the pressure. There are people live streaming on Sunday nights. I'm like, what are you guys doing working 7 days a week? I didn't go into business to be like that. That doesn't feel good for me. So your second what if is, what if you already have what it takes to fulfill your dream? The third one is, what if your success has nothing to do with what anyone else is doing? Zero. What if? What if you can shut down and not look at what anybody else is doing and still blow it out of the water? If you just own your gifts and your talents, own your superpowers and put them out there, then it really doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. What if that was the case? Fear number 5. Or is it 6? It's 6. Aw. Thank you, Shonda. She said, I'm glad you were on Periscope, because if you weren't, I wouldn't have met you. So she caught me on my 3 Periscopes that I did. Okay, fear number 6, fear of excessive sacrifice. What if I have to sacrifice too much to get it? What if I have to not pay attention to my family? Most of us have families. We have our role as CEOs. We have our friends. We have our business. And if you're like me, you've got church and spiritual commitments. And hopefully you have a life where you want to have fun. And when you think about it, it just all seems too much. And so what happens is you start making adjustments for success that you don't even have yet. And what it does is it stops your ability to get success, the little success that you want now. I remember being on a coaching call with one of my coaches, and one of my peers said, I don't want to be stretched too thin during too many strategy sessions. So what she did is she wouldn't put her offer out there, because she just figured she'd get people who come to her, and she didn't want to be stretched too thin and have her calendar too booked up, because she didn't want to be overwhelmed and she only wanted to take a few people. And he's like, you're prepping for a problem that you currently don't have. When your calendar starts to get full, then we can think about that. So how many of you have this fear that if you become successful, there's going to be so much that you have to do that you're not going to be able to handle it all? You're not going to be able to spend time with your family like you want to. You're not going to be able to travel. What if I told you you can actually do less and make more? You're so filled with all the activity you're doing now and not seeing the success that you want. You think, how can I create a 6-figure business or a multi-6-figure business if Right now, I'm barely making 50K and I don't have enough hours in a day. Because that fear, your other fears of comparison, have you doing all kinds of things that you don't really have to do. So what if you could actually do less? What if you didn't have to balance work life, church life, family life? It all could just be part of who you are. Like, I be who I be. I am who I am. Who you get from me now is who you get from me at church, who you get with me, my kids get with me. You'll hear my kids telling you some of the same stuff. I hear my kids telling their friends some of the same things I'm telling you, because this is just who I am. So what if you can design a business that worked with it all, where you could have it all, where you, if you wanted to Netflix binge on a day, you could. I believe that the grind is a lie from the pit of hell. You know, some days I feel guilty and I have to work through that. Like, it's okay. You know, I wake up and my life is scheduled. And this is what you have to do. You have to get really clear about your scheduling and get really clear and ruthless about your self-care so that you can be on with you when you need to be on. And then you have plenty of space to breathe. I need that. I need that. What if that was a possibility? So here's some of the things I hear all the time, and I'm going to give you some new what ifs. So the what ifs I hear all the time is, what if I have to give up all my free time? You know, what about my kids, my spouse, my friends? I don't want to neglect them. If I'm building a business, especially if I'm building a successful business, it seems like I'm not going to have a lot of time on my hands. What if I have to be a slave to my business to make it work? Not even 7 figures, just to make a living. Not even 6 figures, just to make a living. Like, what if I have to be a slave to my business? What if I don't have the time, the money, the energy left over to do the things I love in my life because of my business? And so what this happens is this fear keeps you stuck and not taking the action that you need to take, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, if I put this out there and people grab hold of it, what is that going to commit me to? What is my life going to look like? Because we've been conditioned that we cannot have it all. We've been taught that we cannot have it all. We cannot have our cake and eat it too. We can't have family, friends, travel, success, health, everything. You have to get ruthless about your commitments. I work out 5 days a week, and I'm ruthless about that commitment. At 6 o'clock on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and 10 a.m. on a Saturday, you're not going to schedule me to do anything else. I'm ruthless about my self-care. Monthly spa days, weekly massages. There was a time where I wouldn't get my hair, nails done. Sometimes I get a little focused and busy and I don't get my nails done as soon as I need to, but I get them done, right? It's all about, it's not a balance. It is strategically looking at how you use your time. I have my coaching days. I have my days where I do sales conversations, and everything has its place, and I'm ruthless about it. I'm committed to it. So here's your new what ifs. Actually, before I give you this, I'm gonna tell you this. Because I told you what was possible, but I want you to think about this. If you've been busting your tail all of 2016 and it didn't pay off, meaning you didn't see the results that you wanted, what is that telling you? And if you're a high achiever like me, I know you are, right? It's that belief system that says you have to work hard. Hard work equals success. It's that value system that you have. I had it too. But I learned that it's all about flow. And so I shifted some things so that I didn't always constantly feel like I was pulling my hair out trying to do too much. Here's what power players do, and then I'm going to give you those fears. I feel like I missed a fear somewhere, or I've just numbered these things totally wrong, or I have an extra one. Power players set limits and boundaries and prioritize really well, okay? And practice, like I said, ruthless, absolutely unbelievable self-care. You're going to have to learn how to practice that. And all of these things will have to become a priority, and they can become a priority, but you got to put the boundaries and the limits in place. Like, I don't work on Sundays. And there's some Sundays where I'm chilling with my family, hanging out at my mom's house, eating my soul food, and I see everybody like doing live streams and doing stuff. And I'm like, man, do I need to be live streaming? And this fear like comes up that I need to be doing something else. And I sit back and go, that's not for me. That's not my assignment. Okay? So prioritizing. So here are your what ifs. And there's a learning curve to that. Like you're not just going to jump up and do it one day, but once you set the intention and begin to start to do it, you'll get your rhythm. Okay? It took me a long time to get really crystal clear on how I wanted that to work and what I wanted it to look like. Your new what ifs around the fear of sacrifice is this. What if there's actually enough time and money to enjoy both your personal and professional life? What if there's actually enough time to enjoy both your personal and professional life? Second one, what if you don't have to sacrifice family, fun, and friends to be successful? And the last one is this, what if you could learn to focus on all of your priorities at once, to put them in their rightful place? What if I could learn how to do that and still enjoy my life? So just a different shift in that. I have another fear. So I don't know if I have 7 fears instead of 6, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Last fear is this. This is the fear of fatal mistakes. So on my PowerPoint, fear by comparison, and then I just gave you fear of excessive sacrifice. Yeah, so 7. So my 7th fear and bonus fear is fear of critical mistakes. Fear of critical mistakes. This is crazy. So the slide I had for this was like an atomic bomb going off in the world, like totally just blowing up. And then a lady inside of a lab with like smoke and stuff all over her face because she just made a mistake. We think the world's going to come to an end if we do something wrong. And so what that does is it keeps us stuck and stagnant because we don't do anything. It keeps us paralyzed in that fear. We think we're just preparing. So again, it looks like a really valid reason that you're doing what you're doing. How many of you have courses and content that you've created that you've never released? How many of you have whole like speaking engagements, workshops planned out, panned out, and you've never done one? You've never done it. You've never released it because you're afraid that it's going to be wrong and it's not going to be right. And that if you do it, the whole world's going to come. You only get one shot at this, and then it's over. Once you step out there and you make that mistake, everybody's going to be like, nah, I'm going the other way. We have this, I don't even know what to call it, an unreasonable fear that we're going to do something wrong. And so I'm going to really quickly just give you these because we're getting low on time and I want to open up for... Where is it? Fatal mistakes. Okay. So this is what I wanted to, I don't want to jump past this because I want to tell you guys this. You know, we're afraid that if we post on social media, people might get annoyed. Here's what I want you to know. If you trust yourself, there's nothing you need to fear. I find myself telling my clients this all the time. Like I say this all the time, trust yourself. You know, we want to give our power away to somebody else. We're afraid that we're going to do something wrong. You have a divine compass. You have a divine knowing inside of you that is so strong. I can pull it out of you, but I am not it. You got to be open and willing to tap into that. Like, you know the way. You know the answer. Trust yourself. If the work is coming up in you, put it out there. If you have a desire to do an event, do the event. Trust yourself. When you trust yourself, there's nothing to fear. And here's the deal. You got to remind yourself that you can be trusted, because I know when you make mistakes in the past, we've trained ourselves that we can't be trusted. You're like, I can't be trusted to this vision. Let me pass on the responsibility to somebody else because I've messed it up too many times. Again, that I tried again and failed and tried again and failed. I'm talking to you because I know it. I didn't wake up one day with a vision and knowing that I had a call on my life. I've known. I've always known. You've always known. Trust yourself. That's really what this is about. Trust your abilities. Trust your gifting. Trust your voice. Trust your ideas. Trust your creativity. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to take your clients by the hand and help them get the transformation they desire. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to pour yourself into them, that there's no way they would fail. Trust yourself. That's the only way to get over the fear of fatal mistakes. Remember, I told you I had PTSD from all the things I lost and all the mistakes that I made and all of the things that have happened from, again, clients backing out, payment plans not being made, all kinds of stuff. And so there's all these moments where I think, okay, I might do this, I might invest in doing this event, and the money won't come back. That compass is yours and yours alone. So if you find yourself asking, what if I totally mess this up? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I choose the wrong thing? Know that this is your fear of making a critical or a fatal mistake. So here are your new what ifs for the fear of making a critical mistake. And it's actually not a bunch of them. It's just one, and I think it's super important. Here's the new what if. What if I can completely trust myself to do what is right and necessary to succeed? That is actually all you would fully need to embrace. What if I could actually trust myself to do what's right and necessary to succeed? What would be possible for you if you begin to trust yourself? What would be possible in your life? What would be possible in your business? How amazing would that feel? All right, so those are the 6 fears that consistently show up all the time. With smart entrepreneurs, powerhouse entrepreneurs, high-achieving entrepreneurs, believe it or not, this is what we bump our heads up against, that halt our progress, that kill our confidence, our courage, sabotage our success, our actions, and our ability to take actions in our business. And I want to remind you this: fear is learned. All these things that we've talked about, all these things that we're afraid of, it's learned. And you always have a choice. You didn't grow up fearing this stuff. It's a response. Remember, I talked about your brain creating these neural pathways. It's a response to how you've experienced. You can choose to do it by design instead of default. You can either feed your fear or you can face your fear. The choice is yours. Everybody take a deep breath and let it out and relax and just kind of let all of what I told you sink in. You know, because there will be a tendency to go, okay, now I need to do this and I need to do that. I want you to be with yourself and trust your guidance and trust your knowing. The choice is yours. And if you decide that you're sick and tired of feeding those fears, again, the awesome thing is that learning to face and transform your fears and own them, it's a skill that can be learned. And so I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to post something in the playground. It's only going to be up for 10 minutes after. If you're in the event section, you already have it, but I'm actually going to grab it and put it in the Power Players Playground section, and it will be there for you. Up to 10 minutes after we're done. We're not quite done yet. I have this gift I want to give you. It's a powerful exercise to walk yourself through. Then I want to walk you through an exercise, and I want to offer you an opportunity to connect with me a little bit deeper around what's going on with your business and what your next steps are. So give me 1 second. Let me put this up here. I should have already had it ready to go, but I didn't. Here it is. Okay, so it's there. So it says Fear Bonus Gift. It's there. It'll be there for 10 minutes after we're done. You're going to download that and go through it. Some really powerful exercises to ground you, because the tendency is to get all this information and just try to hit the ground running. I want you to focus on one specific thing. So you're going to list out some of the goals that you have, and then I want you to focus on one specific fear that you can shift and how you want to show up in that fear. And so this sheet is going to walk you through that. So of the 6 fears, you're going to pick the one that's either showing up the most powerfully for you, or that you really want to focus on changing, that you feel like will make the biggest difference for you. And then you're going to walk yourself through those exercises. The other thing that I want to gift you, because you do have a choice. So I'm posting that download now. It's going to be gone, like I said, in 10 minutes after. Here's what I want you to do though. I want you to do it within the next 24 hours. So if you don't have time, you have clients or something coming up right after this, if you can't do it within the next 24 hours, because of the law of diminishing intent. And that states that any task you give yourself will expand to the time you allow it. So if you go, oh, I'll do it this weekend, you won't get by this weekend. You won't get to it till this weekend. So give yourself a time frame, sooner rather than later, while this is all still fresh in your mind, while the hunger and the desire to get rid of these fears and to obliterate them in your business is still in your spirit. Do the exercise. Don't wait till you're cold and back into living in the same place, because remember, those neural pathways are still there. So this is one way that we're starting to sever those ties, but it's continual. You'll continually be doing this work as you grow at every new level. It's not a one-time, oh, I got it kind of thing. I shared with you, I still work and navigate these fears on a day-to-day basis. It's the choice that I choose how to navigate them that makes the difference, and you just get better at it. It happens faster. You have less breakdowns as you continually do it. So the law of diminishing intent, do it sooner rather than later, so that you get better results out of it and that you actually do it. Because if you wait longer, the likelihood that you'll actually complete the worksheet is like none, slim to none. Okay, so do it sooner rather than later. My other gift to you is this. I want to give you a decision. So I've given you a lot of information, and you have an option. You can do 2 things. You can take what I've given you, and it's what I call like the slow hard way of it. You can take everything that I've done and you can try to figure this all out on your own. I've given you powerful nuggets of wisdom. I've given you some powerful strategies and some aha moments. For most of you guys, just the awareness that, oh shoot, this is what's showing up for me, has probably been very, very huge. And typically what happens, because it's such generalized knowledge and it's not like customized to you, you'll typically run into a lot of trial and error. So the second option that I want to give you here is an option that I would recommend that you take, is the fast and easy way of doing this, where you can have me side by side alongside of you, looking at where you're stuck mostly in your business, what fears are coming up, and how to navigate that very quickly, so that you can get customized support to you that is unique to you and your business. That way I can hold you accountable and help you make some decisions moving forward. Like, what's your next step for your next level of success for really slaying 2017? So if you choose to ditch the doubts and take a stand for yourself, here's where I want you to go. I want you to go to bit.ly/10K permission and request a session with me. It's no cost. But here's the thing, my time is limited. Like I said, I'm very ruthless about how I schedule it out. I don't work with everybody. And so it's really important that you know who it is that I'm looking for. There's a little description there on the page that kind of gives you an outline of who would want to apply for one of these sessions. And then you just click the gold button at the bottom of the page, and it'll take you straight to my calendar. But I want to just give a quick outline of who I work with so that you know if that's for you. Again, I'll give you the domain. It's bit.ly/10K permission. That's where you would go to apply. But it's really important to me that you're committed to your business and that you want to play a bigger game. Like, you're hungry for it. You're ravenous for it. Not just like, oh, that would be a good idea, you know, if I could have 5 or 10 figure sales or a 5-figure day or month. You really want to collapse your monthly income into a day or a sale. Like, that's who I want to work with. Because when you're doing work like that on yourself, it takes guts. It, like, to kick fear in the face, to show up and position yourself like the power player that you are, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not like, oh, well, Shamika's just going to tell me what to do, and one day I'm going to wake up and it's just going to happen. It's work. You're working on your heart space. You're working on your mindset, and you're consistently bumping up against that. So you got to be ready. So if that's you, apply. If it's not you, you need not apply. Like, if you're not committed to your own success, if you don't really want to do the work, you know, because the people I work with, they're committed to knocking it out of the park. I only want to work with people that know they're going to make it happen. Okay? So if that's not you, if you're not ready to play a bigger game, if you're not willing to put in the work, then don't apply. If it is you, then apply. I will spend my time with you to help you get a clear understanding of where you are and where you need to go next. So last time, and then I'm going to give you guys your challenge for this Supernova Sales School and open up the lines for Q&A before we wrap up. So it's bit.ly/10K permission, /10K permission. Okay. So here's your challenge. So every Supernova Sales School, I give you a challenge. We do Supernova Sales School every first Thursday. It's once a month. Whatever I teach on, I challenge you because I want you to take what I teach you and put it in action. This isn't about head knowledge. You know, you can sit on webinars and things all day, every day. But if you don't put it in action and see what it feels like when you bump up against it. So what I've learned about my fears, let me find you guys. I don't know where I'm looking. What I've learned about my own fears is that I have to challenge myself to be uncomfortable a little bit all the time. So when I first chopped my hair and went natural, I wore a short wig for like 2 months because I was so afraid of how people would view me in business with my hair. It was before I colored it purple and did some stuff to it. I just chopped and went for it. And so I would wear this wig, and if you go back, you'll see these pictures of me in this short wig because I wasn't ready to let the world see. I was afraid of how it would be received as a business owner with natural short hair. Didn't want to hear people telling me I should use this hair product to perm my hair this way or, you know, just straighten it a little bit so it will look like this. You know how people do. And so one day I thought about it. I said, you know what? This is fear. And so you got to work your fear muscle. So even in the smallest little things, work the muscle. Recognize fear. So when the big things come, you recognize it and you can navigate through it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is fear. This isn't just me not wanting to show people my hair and I'm not ready yet and the wig is cute. And so one day I just ripped it off, snapped a picture, posted it on Facebook. Did I want to do that? No. But I needed to face the fear. And so I'm going to challenge you to, when you find yourself bumping up even against small fears like that, which was mine, is like not showing people my hair. Well, now it feels the same. So fear is fear is fear. It feels the same. When that feeling you feel when you're afraid, that thing in your stomach, it doesn't matter what kind of fear it is, it shows up the same way. So when you begin to recognize it in small things, when the big things come, you're like, oh, I know how to navigate this. That's that same fear. I've done this before. It becomes easy. So I'm going to give you a challenge. And for some of you, it might not feel like a small thing, but it's small enough and big enough that you're going to feel some fear and some resistance to wanting to do it. And I'm going to up the ante a little bit. So here's your challenge. I want you to find out of the 6, 7, however many number of fears, because I can't count, that we've had, which of these fears is showing up in your life and keeping you stuck? That's what I want you to think about right now. So let that sink in. I don't want you to pick it from head knowledge. I want you to pick it from your heart space. So take a deep breath. Which of these fears is showing up in your life and keeping you stuck? What fear are you willing to hand over to God this year? So of all of those fears, what's the fear that you're willing to hand over to God this year? That was the easy part. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to post that fear in the Facebook group. So the fear that I'm willing to hand over to God is, and I want you to post it in the Facebook group. The fear that I'm willing to hand over to God is, so go to powerplayerslive.com if you haven't already done so. That's where you're going to post. It'll take you straight to the group. For those of you who are probably asking to get in, I will go through and make sure. Marsha's like, stop putting me on blast. I don't know how long ago you posted that, but so post it in the Facebook group. The fear that I'm handing over to God, or the fear that I'm willing to hand over to God, is this. Now, if you really want to kick fear in the face, this is where it's going to show up, because you're like, oh, this is a safe place. I can do this. I want you to post on your personal social media channels. I don't care where. Look at Marsha. She's like, nah, boo. I ain't gonna be able to do it. This is where you showing up, positioning yourself, and this is that fear. So remember, every fear, it feels the same. When you learn how to navigate it, this is where things show. So this is what I've learned, guys. Whenever it's like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do that, I'm like, oh, shoot, then I have to. When I feel like I ain't gonna be able to do it, then I must. That's how I am now. The moment I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that, I'm like, shoot, I gotta do it now. Because that's the thing. Your fear is the GPS to where your soul wants to go. Your fear is the GPS to where your soul wants to go. So I want you to post in your groups, but here's how I want you to post it when you post it publicly. So in the group, you're going to post, the fear that I'm willing to hand over to God this year is XYZ. That's for accountability and practice of putting yourself out there, right? And so here's the thing that will happen. You'll want to choose the cutesy fear that you think nobody's going to judge you about. You know, you want to try to word it so you can still look good. I don't want you guys to do that. You want to word it so you still look like you got it together. I'm all right. I'm all right with most of these, but the one fear I had was, don't write none of that crap. Don't do that, because that's your fear. Okay? This is practice. Post it in the group. Make sure you do hashtag Supernova Sales School. Actually, do 2 hashtags for me so I can find it good. Hi, Umwa. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. Hashtag Releasing Fearless. Releasing Fearless. The reason why I said releasing fearless instead of releasing fear is because we have this notion that we got to be fearless, and that's dumb. Everybody has fear. So I don't want you to be fearless, fierce and fearless. I want you to be full of fear. I want you to embrace that fear, but choose the action that you take when the fear shows up. So you can let being fearless go. You don't have to be that. That doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. So those are your 2 hashtags. Okay, so here's how you're going to write it when you do it live, and then we're going to open up for Q&A. When you post live, okay, I'm done with the fear of whatever you do, and the hashtag I want you to use when you post it publicly is power player. Power player, hashtag power player. So it's different. So it's not the fear you're handing over to God. So if you are a badass, if you are ready to punch fear in the throat and kick it in the face, publicly post, I'm done with the fear of X, and use the hashtag power player. Bless it and let it go. Don't worry about how many likes. Don't change how you say it. Let it go. Practice. 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 All right, guys, so we're going to wrap up because it's almost time for me to pick up my son from school. So I'm going to open up the lines. Any questions, ahas, feedback? I think we have a raised hand button. So if we could use that, because there's a lot of people on the line. Yeah. Or you can type your questions in the chat. Joe says hashtag being courageous. You can use that one too if you want. You can use all the other hashtags you want to that make you feel good. But the one I want you to use for me to be able to find it is hashtag power player. Right? And once you post it, I don't want you going back and editing based on what you think people's response is to what you've done. Check your fear at the door. Don't check it every 5 minutes to see how many likes it's gotten, because that's your fear. Okay? So I'll be looking today, not tomorrow, to see who's really kicking it up a notch and publicly posting their fears. And then I'll be looking in the playground. I'm not looking right now because we're running out of time and I want to open up. So if you guys have questions or feedback, are you checking our personal pages too? Yeah. So when I search that hashtag, somebody said hashtag ruthless. It's Rebecca. When I post that hashtag, when you post the hashtag power players, I can search it. So that's why I have you using that one. So when I search the hashtag power player, I'll be able to see who's posted today on their fears. All right. Any questions? Any feedback? Anything I can coach you through? Resistance you feel coming up around the exercises, the challenge that I just gave you? something you're addressing in your business. Has this been helpful? Cool. Questions? The personal page is going to do me in. No, you're just going to do it. And it's going to be your first step to slaying 2017. Because the next time you feel that same feeling of don't push the send button, don't pick up the phone, you'll go, oh, this is that same feeling I was having when Shamika told me to do that exercise. Then I must pick up the phone. I must press send. If you feel like you shouldn't or you can't, then you must. That's the rule. Shauna, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for doing this call. This is what I needed. So I guess all these fit me. So what do I do? So I'm on social media automated, but nothing where people can see me because, I'm afraid of being seen, I guess, because I'm fat and, afraid of what people will say, what do I do? How do I get past it? I wrote 40 books and, nobody knows who I am. I have 142 information products and I'm just like, wait a minute. How do I get out there how do I get past the fear? Because it's like when I get ready to hit the Periscope button to go live, I'm afraid, okay, what if I don't have enough to say? What if I forget, my message, so yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and then I have some thoughts in my own mind, but let me write them down because I will forget. So the question I want to ask you is what do you want to do?
I want to get out there. I want to be more visible. I want to be able to share my message and help people.
Why?
I don't want people to go through what I went through. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have something that I can share that will be helpful to other people. Mm-hmm. And so, so many different things that I've learned, I feel like I have a message to share.
Okay. So in thinking about what you just said, what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to take a deep breath and just think about it for a second before you answer me. Is what's the one fear that if you can hand that over to God, nip it in the bud, and really obliterate it this year, would make all the difference for you and your business and the people that you're meant to serve?
I'm stuck between rejection and being seen.
So before you answer, just chill with yourself. Search your heart and not your head, because you know the answer. What's the one fear of all of them? Because I had them all too, but what's the one that you know that if you can get rid of that one, everything would change?
Being seen.
Okay. So that is your fear. If you're willing, so your assignment, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to post about getting rid of the fear of being seen. And guess what? This action step will allow you to begin to do that. If you really want to be a badass, snap a picture of yourself and post it with it. I'm all about pushing your buttons. Can you do that? Can I get a verbal?
Yes.
Yes. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay. The second thing that I'm going to suggest or invite you to do is to apply for a session with me so that we can work you through some of the stuff that you're going through. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for asking the questions. We're all rooting for you. You can't see everybody, but that's how we roll. We're all rooting for you. I'm excited for you. And this is the first step. It's the first step. And it doesn't mean that the fear is going to diminish right away. You're going to hit send, or what do you hit? Post. And all kinds of crap is going to go through your mind. So I'm warning you already. You're going to want to change the picture. You're going to want to delete it. what you choose to do in that moment is going to be a deciding moment for you. It's going to be pivotal for you. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else? Rebecca, stop crying. You're gonna make me cry.
I always cry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I can't figure out the video thing, so I'll just do audio. So I just had my first high paid client, and I think I'm trying to figure out which fear it is, which I still can't quite narrow it down to one. But I think for me, the fear of the whole leaping before you're ready that you were talking about. So it had to do, I believe, with the fear of being seen. I don't know. I think that was under that category. Was it?
Dang it. I would have to go back to my notes to see which one I told you guys.
All right.
Does somebody have that written down? Type in chat. Let me look and see. No, I think it's fear of, no, not fatal mistake.
The next one, maybe. Fear of maybe comparison.
No, you're right. It's being seen.
It is being seen. Well, because if I leap before I'm ready, right, then I already had this first high paid client, and he was the first person ever. It was the best, worst experience ever. It really was. It was awful. And not many people know that, but he was not happy. Everybody thought it looked amazing except the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one person who needed to be happy. And so I realized I was reacting instead of responding. I started to, and so I had caught myself very quickly. But that's the very reason that I'm so hesitant to leap before I'm ready, because it was a one-day gig, came up last minute.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this. I was encouraged, I did it, and then it was ugh.
So when you take a step back, and again, I'm gonna ask you to do the same thing I asked Shauna to do, breathe, because we get in our heads, and I want you to really focus. What's the fear? So forget about what I said, because it's great that you got your first high-paying client, because what that means is that you have the ability to get another one, right? You can do it again. You did it once, you can do it again. What is the fear for you that you feel like if you can completely obliterate it? The one fear that it would change everything for you.
Probably that whole leap before you're ready just keeps popping up. Probably just not being good enough or ready and turning people away. I don't know how you would word that, but just people would be turned off before I even had the chance to, get great at what I do.
Okay, so we've got the fear of being seen, Rebecca. We've got the fear of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of excessive self-sacrifice, the fear of comparatinitis or being lesser by comparison, and the fear of the fear of critical mistakes.
Still goes to fear of being seen.
Okay.
I feel like it. Well, yeah. If people see me and they see me not ready, or they don't see that I'm good enough, then how can I ever become successful if I'm making these? I don't know.
So that's probably lesser by comparison more
Maybe
than anything, because not good enough compared to what?
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you? You're when you talk to me, Rebecca, you're putting together a bunch of different fears.
Right.
But you can address them all at some point in time. At this point in time, I just want you to really focus on one. We're going to do this like Rome. It wasn't built in a day. I wish I could see your beautiful face.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wait, is this the one? Oh my God.
Okay. So Rebecca, one more time. Take a deep breath.
Oh, there I am. Hi. Holly, help me.
Are you here?
Can you see me?
I can. There you
Hi,
are. Hi, Rebecca. Okay. So take a deep breath. Deep breath. Relax, clear your mind. What's one fear that you really want to just give over to God?
The fear of being lesser by comparison.
And for that one, I want to shift it for you. We're going to change it to the fear of not being good enough.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me see your face. That helps me.
Because
Does that resonate with you?
yeah, that's always what it boils down to. So, yeah. And pleasing people, because I'm a people pleaser. So as soon as he didn't like it, and he's like, this was not the vision. And I was just like immediately like,
Yeah.
you know.
So from what you learned today, how can you handle that? We talked about
I liked a lot. Well, I liked a lot about what you said in regards to taking it as an opportunity. You're taking the failures as the opportunity to teach me how to fly.
Exactly.
So sure, I can, and we did discuss that later on, like probably a day or two later, how I could change some things and how I set up the client and
So definitely research and development, right? So this is like a huge opportunity to say, okay, what are the things that we're missing, right? How could I have supported you better?
Right.
What was the vision and how did I miss it? So that when that comes up the next time, you know exactly what to do, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I can't get another client because they're all going to feel this way, right? Or I'm not good enough. Congratulations on getting your first client.
Thanks.
So what fear are we going with?
The fear of not being good enough or lesser by comparison.
Good. I only asked you because I wanted to make sure you answered right off and didn't look at your paper. So that's your fear. If you looked at your paper, I was going to make you pick something else.
No, I did.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. So that's the fear that we're working on right now. That's the fear we're giving to God. That's the fear that you need to look at your different what ifs, pay attention to how it shows up. And that's the fear you're posting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Anybody else? Questions? I can take one more.
I have something to say.
Is that Umwa?
Yeah.
Can
you hear me?
Find you. Where are you? I can hear you. You can talk.
Okay.
I just can't.
So I took myself off of no video because.
Okay, there you are.
The reason I had myself off was because I'm laying in bed and I didn't think it was professional. But this is how I work. You know how I am. You know, I like to work from bed.
Wait, is that Rebecca's mic still unmuted?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Okay.
But I was like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to be me, and this is how I'm doing it today.
Yeah, I didn't even think anything of it. I'm so used to you just chilling, so.
Yeah. Plus, I've been sick, and today's like the first day I'm, actually feeling better. So you saw me on Monday. How was well, drippy nose and everything. Anyways, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I also want to say thank you, and I really appreciate it. And this is really timely for me right now because I'm supposed to be writing the signature talk for my client, and I've been stalling on it because I've been feeling like insecure and like, I sent her like possible title and she's like, it's not sexy enough. And then I got like, oh no, I can't do it, And like, that's all I'm working on today is getting this done for her because, I'm like behind. Mm-hmm. So, mostly I just wanted to say thank you and that everything you said just really helped me to let go of my fears so I can just do what I do that I really know that I'm great at, but sometimes I just let my stuff get in the way,
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. You are amazing at what you do.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here too. And that signature talk is going to be amazing.
Thank you.
So what's your fear that you're giving over to God today?
I'm going to copy Rebecca because mine was the same thing. Like, partly it's about being seen, but it's like not really about being seen. It's because if I'm being seen, then I won't be good enough. You know, like, it's not good enough that I'm the way that I am right now. I should be all dressed nice and sitting at my desk, you know, like whatever. So under the fear of being seen is that fear of not being good enough, or under the fear of rejection, or under the fear of making a mistake. Because it's like, if I make a mistake, then people will see that I'm not really good enough and that they shouldn't have hired me and paid me all that money in the first place, you know?
Yeah. That fear does grow when you start charging more too. It's
yes.
Like, what if I don't deliver? And they just
exactly.
You know,
and I've never written a signature talk for someone before. Like, I know I can do it, but I may have helped people with theirs and edited them and, you know, help people outline it, but I never had someone pay me and say, here, write my talk for me, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me make sure. I'm gonna wrap it up. I did say I had time for one more, but I just want to make sure there's nobody else because I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So here's what's gonna happen next. If you do want to do a session with me, again, bit.ly/10K permission. Marsha, post it. Woo-hoo!
Yay!
Remember, law of diminishing intent, sooner rather than later. So you have a couple of assignments. You're going to download the little worksheet I created for you. I'm going to be turning this into a full-fledged course with a full-fledged workbook that's going to be released in a few weeks. So you can keep your eye out for that. If you want to do a session with me, bit.ly/10K permission. And your challenge for today is to post in the playground, what is the fear that you're giving over to God? And if you want to supersize that and really kick fear in the face, you're going to post live. What did I tell you guys to post? I'm done with the fear of whatever you're done with, and you're going to use the hashtag #PowerPlayer so that I can find it. I totally believe in you guys. You've got this. You've got this, and you've got a support system. Like, in the Power Players Playground, we're not your normal Facebook community where you're just hanging out and people are posting social memes and everybody's telling everybody what to do and encouraging everybody. And this is the space where you get to celebrate your wins and successes, where you can fall on your face and share it, and then people will be there to pick you up. This is the space where we cheer each other on as we're going from greatness to greater, from greater to greater things than that, to our next level of success and becoming higher versions of ourselves and becoming the power players that we know we can be. It is the place where you are surrounded by a community of people, of men and women, hi Joe, who refuse to let you fail, who refuse to see you fail. So engage, connect, share your wins, post your posts, and I'll see you guys next time around on Supernova Sales School. I'll probably have a few challenges coming up and some mini courses too. I appreciate you being in here. I totally believe in you. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. I'll unmute the line so you guys can say bye. Where is my unmute? Here it is. Oh, wait. Why am I having a hard time with this?
Bye, everybody. I'll unmute myself.
Like, I'll unmute myself.
I was like, I'll just click it.
There it is. Okay. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.